Welcome everybody to San Antonio. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Good luck flowing around here in San Antonio. Welcome to the Tiger Network. I am Reed Rosales with my esteemed colleague, Luke Terry, who is wearing green, just so everybody knows on the broadcast. But your starting lineup for the Pirates is Jake Harris, Christian Melillo, James Vaquero, Jacob Tanner, Maxwell Mims, Alexander Kanata, Trace Organ, Liam Stonestreet, and Ben Foyer. So really no changes to the Pirates lineup from game 2 to 3 other than the catcher position. And on the mound, feeling lucky today, is Michael Boki.
And Boki comes into this one. You'll see his numbers on your screen right there. 1-1 win-loss record and an ERA that he's steadily dropped. Pretty elevated in his first couple of appearances this year against Babson and Wisconsin Whitewater. 27 ERA to start his season. Dropped it a little bit against Whitewater, but still got hit around. It was a performance a couple of weeks ago in the midweek against DeSales. He went 6 2/3, struck out 15 batters and 110 pitches. Of course, we've talked about this bullpen and this staff quite a bit. He's a guy that's slotting into this Sunday position because of an injury to the typical Sunday starter, a guy in Jackson Tier that had not moved across the past 2 years here in San Antonio. Started pretty much every single game on Sunday mornings. Today it's going to be Michael Boki, and he's going to try and not miss a beat.
Jake Harris takes strike one from Boki as a leadoff bat for the Pirates, who are in the green unis today to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Maybe the only time you'll see the Pirates in these green jerseys, as that one is skied out into left center field. Taken in by the center fielder, Jack Peterson. That is one out away in the top of the first.
Nice job starting this afternoon correctly for Michael Boki right there. Comes right after the hitter. A couple of pitches in the zone, forces the hands of Jake Harris, who just can't quite catch up to that fastball in the upper part of the zone.
Christian Melillo fouls one off. So strike one for him. Trying not to get too behind in the count against Boki. Melillo, the two-hole hitter for the Pirates today. Easy enough take for him. That one was just a bit outside for ball one.
And Boki, you can see adjusting and fidgeting a little bit with that right arm and hand. He's a guy that here on Tiger Network this season has played a lot with that release point and still trying to find it, and goes to the breaking ball right there. What a lot of pitchers like to do to try and reestablish things. Really have to fully extend, get out front as you're trying to get the movement you like on that breaking ball, and he did exactly that right there to get back ahead in this count.
Oh, and misses the zone. It's a looping breaking ball. So he evens up the count at 2-2. The pitch to Melillo. That one misses the zone just a bit high, so the count ticks full for Christian Melillo.
Yeah, 2 consecutive really good breaking balls from Boki right there, just outside the zone. Not going to get those calls is what it looks like in the early going.
And Melillo will go down looking. Strikeout number 1 for Michael Boki, as that breaking ball does find the zone.
Yeah, and not too dissimilar from the offering a couple of pitches ago. Tries for that backdoor breaker a couple of times to Melillo. Melillo not liking what he sees. Does a nice job of recognizing the breaking ball, the big looper up in the zone. Opted to lay off of what were called balls a couple of times, then ultimately gets the short end of the stick.
Now fly out to left field for James Vaquero as Max Milligan takes it in easily. So the Pirates go 1-2-3 to start off our St. Patty's Day Game 3 here in San Antonio. We will head to the bottom of the frame on the Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Tiger Network. Your starting lineup for the Tigers. Leading off will be Max Milligan, followed by Caleb Woodward, Nicholas Lazara, Christian Holloway, Alex Monson, Colt Harris, Corson Hastings, Jack Peterson, and then Jack Baker. That is your starting lineup for the Trinity Tigers. On the mound for the Pirates is Carson Brown, who gets the call for the Game 3 start. And first pitch, first contact, easy enough to get for Foyer. And Milligan will be retired for the first out of the bottom of the first.
And Brown's stats on this season allude to a guy that comes out and throws a lot of strikes. He's thrown about 16 innings, now exactly that number with the first out recorded here in San Antonio. This is his fourth start of the season, an elevated ERA at 6.32. Things that really stand out across now 16 innings, 22 hits given up on the season. Clearly, Milligan in this Trinity offense aware of that and coming out swinging very early on.
Woodward holds the bat steady for the 1-1 count. Contact made, grounder over to second base, and Oregon gets it to Alexander Kanata at first. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the first as Woodward grounds out.
Game 3 of this SCAC opening series this weekend in San Antonio, and the third time that we've seen some major changes to the Trinity lineup. Go back to what we saw mostly in the Friday night game, a lot of lefties in the top portion. 1 through 3 as Lazara, the switch hitter, now steps to the plate.
Lazara takes ball 1 on the inside. Took a ball deep yesterday. Next pitch from Brown. That one does find the zone for strike 1. So the count goes even at 1-1. As a 3-hole hitter for the Tigers, trying to prevent a 1-2-3 inning. That one sliced foul over into left field.
And the approach remaining pretty consistent for Lazara at the plate. Not swinging the bat until he sees the first strike.
Takes that one high, 2-2 count.
But even behind 1-2, remains very patient and poised in the batter's box. Absolutely no shot, and he's going to swing at that one, even though there's a change in eye level.
Hits the breaking ball out into right center field, and that one will get down. It'll be a base hit for Nick Lazara with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. So base runner for the Tigers as Christian Holloway will step up.
Now both of these pitchers have tried to use that breaking ball in the upper portion of the zone. Lazara doing a nice job of recognizing this one's going to finish over the plate. He sits back on it, lets it travel deep, and ultimately does a nice job of getting those hands through and sending it right back up the middle.
The aforementioned Christian Holloway takes strike 1. Holloway also homered yesterday in Game 2. That one misses. 1-1 count for Holloway as he does the one-armed practice swing. Check on Lazara over to their left as Brown takes a peek. That one has a chance to stay fair over into right field, and it is a foul ball. So Harris and Oregon kind of trailing over in that direction, but ultimately ending up foul.
And it's been kind of weird circumstances on batted balls into shallow right field over the last couple of days here in San Antonio. Very late reaction from Christian Holloway in the batter's box. Thought that one didn't have any chance of getting down, but over the last couple of days, they have.
That one misses as Liam Stonestreet has to slide on his knees to get that one. So a 2-2 count. Nick Lazara on first base. The even count pitch from Brown. That one fouled off. So Christian Holloway gets another chance.
And a nice breaking ball right there. So far it's been 3 Trinity hitters to the plate and 3 balls that have been put in play. 2 of them going as outs. Brown trying to get a put-away pitch right here, but Holloway doing a nice job of fighting these off.
Still staying alive. And for the weather is a slight drizzle. You can see people with some umbrellas, but not torrential downpour by any means, as Holloway takes that one high. So full count. That one lined up the middle. Easy enough to take for Trace Oregon. He steps on second base to get the easy out. And the Tigers will strand Lazara. So we head to the top of the second on the Tiger Network. We're through a frame. We're still scoreless. No hits for the Pirates. They went down fairly quietly back in the top of the first. So Michael Boki will look to do more of the same. Has a strikeout already. Looking to go even further beyond. First pitch, hit for a grounder. It's going to be a tough play. The throw to first. It's not going to be a good throw. It'll roll to the fence. And Jacob Tanner will start things off with a base hit, as Christian Holloway over at third today had to make a tough throw.
Yeah, you mentioned it's Christian Holloway at third, and of course this weekend we've talked a lot about Kai Tinker and his play over at the hot corner defensively. It would have been a tough one no matter who was over there. Looked like Christian Holloway was playing pretty far off the line. Had to navigate over there to field the ball cleanly in the first place, and then would have needed a very, very strong throw all the way across diamond.
This one another tough play. They throw to first, not in time. So Mims runs out the throw, and he's going to have a single. So two very quick Pirates to get on base as they take one or two pitches each.
And you see a bang-bang play over there at first base, but I think the field umpire certainly got that one right. Mims doing a nice job recognizing that it's Corson Hastings over there at first was opting not to come off the bag and field that one himself. And with the opportunity for it to get all the way out to Colt Harris, he was going to have the chance to beat it out, and that's exactly what he did.
Is Corson Hastings at first base today for the Tigers, since Christian Holloway is over at third. Defense up the middle is unchanged. They throw to second to check on Tanner. Slides in safe. A chance for Alexander Kanata to put the first run on the board for the Pirates. Looking for some St. Patty's Day luck against Michael Boki. That pitch goes over Kanata. Lazard does a good job to get the ball back quickly. Runners stay. No outs in the top of the second. Not keen to risk anything right now. The pitch from Boki. The bunt is laid down. Boki will field and throw. So they get Kanata out at first, but his job is done. He pushes the runners across. So Tanner will stand at third. Mims at second. With only one out in the top of the second. Sacrifice fly opportunity on the board for Trace Oregon.
Yeah, but a good job there from Trinity and Boki specifically, taking that out that was given to him. Kanata doing a nice job of ultimately getting the job done in a 1-1 count. Recognized he realistically only had one more pitch to do so and put it right back to the Trinity pitcher. But guys on the base paths got a good enough jump. No play at third or second for Boki, and ultimately it takes those force outs out of the picture.
A 1-0 count for Trace Oregon. He awaits the pitch from Michael Boki. Swing and a miss. Boki pulled the table out from under that baseball. Got Oregon to swing.
And so far he's relied pretty heavily on contact, and some soft contact in this inning has beat him. Right now, because of that, he's going to have to go back to this breaking ball, which of course has been very good for him this season. Now ahead in the count 1-2. Big opportunity for out number 2 here and a chance to limit all the damage.
1-2 pitch for Michael Boki. Pops that one foul. So Trace Oregon will still be in the batter's box to face off against Boki.
Yeah, but that's a kind of guess and check swing right there. Lucky that that breaking ball stays up in the zone, because ultimately if you're swinging at that and it's down on the ground, you really got no shot at it.
Pops out of Lazara's glove, and a run will come in to score. So Jacob Tanner makes his way back to his dugout with the first Pirate run. It is 1-0 Southwestern, and Mims will head over to third as well.
Yeah, just an unfortunate break right here. Is worked ahead in the count, had an opportunity to get out number 2, but already that's the third or fourth offering that we've seen well above the head of the hitter. Lazara just unable to hang on to it.
First pitch taken by Liam Stonestreet. Or is it still Trace Oregon? It's a full count. Ground ball. Taken in by Harris. And the runner goes to home. The throw not in time. So good base running by Southwestern, as after Harris made the throw motion over to Corson Hastings at first, they sent Mims.
Yeah, Mims, the veteran in this Southwestern offense, certainly aggressive on the base paths here in the top of the second. First to beat out a pretty routine play over to Colt Harris at second. And then that time, ultimately, Harris does a nice job of making him freeze, but doesn't retreat to the bag, and it's super important. Doesn't lose any ground right there. And as soon as Harris makes that throw on over to first, he broke hard and ultimately got in there just under the tag.
Pitch misses outside, as now Liam Stonestreet is in the batter's box. The catcher for Southwestern. Takes ball 2. As Boki tries to get Stonestreet to chase with those breaking balls. That one misses the zone. Tried to dot the outer upper corner, but it makes it a 3-1 count for Liam Stonestreet.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a very good spot from Boki right there.
Lined, it gets past Holloway into left field. Stonestreet will head to second base. It rolls to the wall. And it's going to be a stand-up double for Liam Stonestreet, as he just shot that one right past Christian Holloway.
Yeah, and based on the angle we have here in San Antonio, it looked like Holloway might have had a shot at this one, but you're right, a hot shot over there at the corner. And for Holloway, who is not playing every day at that spot, certainly a very tough ask to come into this game and make a couple of really difficult plays.
Now Ben Foyer Takes ball one. Oh, really good looping breaking ball from Boki.
Yeah, certainly a pitch that looks like it's catching at least a portion of the plate. Might finish on the outside part of the zone where Lazara ultimately snags it. I think certainly some disheartening calls in the last two at-bats that have not gone the way of Michael Boki on the mound. And the second inning continues to stretch on and ultimately will warrant a conversation with pitching coach Dave Smith.
It looks like it will just be a conversation. It's Lazara, Boki, and Coach Smith talking game planning as there's still a runner in scoring position after the Liam Stone Street double. The umpire coming to break up the meeting at the mound. Everyone gets back into position. Foyer trying to drive in run number 3. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, but did draw a walk. That pitch in there for a strike. It's a 1-1 count for Foyer now.
And realistically, Boki has still only surrendered the 2 hits this inning to the first couple of batters he faced. Again, very soft contact.
Grounder taken in by Baker. The throw over to first. And that'll be the end of the top of the second. Then Foyer grounds out to Jack Baker at shortstop. We will head to the bottom of the second as the Pirates strike first. They go up 2-0 in San Antonio.
The score is Southwestern 2, Trinity 0.
Welcome back to the Tiger Network. Trinity will look to respond as Alex Monson takes strike 1 from Carson Brown. Monson, new face in the series as he enters into game 3. It's a 1-1 count for the senior.
And Monson, another left-handed bat in the lineup, trying to take advantage of this matchup with the right-hander in Brown on the mound. Brown getting through that first inning unscathed, but Trinity was able to put the ball in play 4 times overall. See if Monson can continue to do the same, but have a little more success putting it fair.
Looks like it'll be a foul ball. As out in left field, left fielder didn't have a play on it, it seems. Or sometimes view's a little tough. So we're not on the roof of the Bell Center. So the 1-2 pitch to Monson. Taken high. So a 2-2 count for Monson.
Of course, Monson, a guy that certainly capable of swinging at any time he's inserted into this lineup.
That one poked foul.
came in and homered in last weekend's series, kind of pseudo-series, the finale against UT Dallas Sunday game that really broke things open and doubled Trinity's run total on the day.
On hit up the middle, it's going to be a base hit for Alex Monson, as that one may have also caught a piece of Carson Brown on the way up the middle. So leadoff hit for the Tigers here in the bottom of the second as the rain starts to come down a little harder.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something we'll be dealing with all day long and have to wonder how much of an impact it's going to have on these pitchers. Boki, of course, already out there, has had a couple of offerings slip out of his hand just a tad. Brown has looked pretty steady on the mound at the moment, but will now have to face some traffic in the form of Monson over there at first base.
And it is Colt Harris working with Monson at first base. Strong contact out into right field. But the catch ultimately made by Jake Harris. The rain not deterring the right fielder as Colt Harris will be retired.
And with this rain that both these pitchers and all these hitters are going to have to face, imagine that it's probably going to dampen the conditions here in San Antonio a little bit. Going to be a lot harder to jump the yard for any of the bats in either of these offenses.
Check over at first on Monson, as after Harris flies out to Harris, brings up Corson Hastings. Steps back into the box as the umbrellas come out again. Brief stoppage of time as Brown steps off. But ready to face Hastings yet again. Strike one as Brown loops a ball into the zone.
Yeah, nice breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Exactly what you have to do against these lefties in this Trinity lineup. Coaching staff and Scannell trying to take advantage of the hitting and pitching matchup yet again. Brown on the mound. This at bat just trying to stay on the outside part of the plate. First with that backdoor breaking ball that time. Some nice arm side run, but takes it well outside the zone. Nice job by Hastings to lay off of it.
Ground ball in for a base hit as it goes into right field. Runner going to third. The throw to third is in time. And Monson will head to second. So Monson will be out at third. Hastings will be safe at second. As a bit too aggressive on the base paths. A great throw by Jake Harris to gun down Monson at third.
Yeah, wonderful play from the right fielder right there, who's charging in all along on this one. Right, this is a ball that just barely sneaks through, perfectly placed by Corson Hastings, who was well out in front of it. Made it a much shorter throw from Harris, who ultimately gets it all the way over to Tanner at third base. Does a nice job of just applying the tag.
Now the lefty, Jack Peterson, flashed bunt but pulled back for ball one. Takes that one high and inside for ball two. Peterson's certainly a player that can run out a bunt for a hit. Corson Hastings at second base. That one in for strike one. The inner top part of the zone. The 2-1 pitch from Brown. That one nearly catching Peterson. Broke in just enough to miss him. So a 3-1 hitter's count for the center fielder.
And I feel like Jack Peterson is in a pretty normal spot in the batter's box, all things considered. He's a guy that likes to be towing the line as much as possible. He'll have that front foot almost across to the point where it's very nearly touching the dish. Right now, backs up just a little bit and might have cost him a hit by pitch opportunity and a second runner on base for Trinity in this inning, but still fighting up there at the plate.
The full count. That one grounded foul down the right field line. So we'll reset and do it again. Jack Peterson trying to keep the bottom of the second alive for the Tigers as they look to respond. And a walk drawn by Jack Peterson. So his speed will go to first base. Fortunately for him, he has Corson Hastings in the way. So he'll have to be content to be at first base for now. But that leads to the second Jack in the lineup, Jack Baker, the 9-hole hitter. Looking to do damage with the stick yet again. Good frame by Stone Street. Makes it strike one to Jack Baker.
This is a spot where this Trinity offense did quite a bit of damage in yesterday's game. Felt like they were very good with 2 outs on the board. Jack Baker has been a guy that has really done a fantastic job in the bottom half of the batting order all season long. He's bounced around a little bit. He's hitting this 8-hole today in the 9-hole. Certainly capable of turning things over. And he's also someone that's been comfortable this season in 2-strike counts where he finds himself right now.
A 1-2 count for Jack Baker. Runners on first and second. Easy enough take. The pitch ended up in the other batter's box. Evens things up at 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Contact made, but it is sliced foul. Baker
Good job from Brown in this at-bat. Breaking ball just barely catching the zone, throwing another very similar offering just off of it. Difficult for Baker to lay off of. Then coming back with something harder, more in on the hands. Baker doing a nice job of fighting everything off at the moment.
And he is fighting still. Just waiting for Brown to make a mistake. Takes another look before stepping back into the batter's box. The 2-2 pitch yet again from Carson Brown. As they turn to second base, it's an easy enough slide and to be safe for Corson Hastings, as it wasn't really that competitive of a throw to second. The 2-2 pitch. Too high. So a full count for Jack Baker as he tries to push things back to the top of the order with Max Milligan waiting on deck. Full count pitch. That one's too high. So the bases are juiced for Max Milligan. Prime opportunity to score for the Tigers. Max Milligan can put it in a good spot.
And Milligan came up, his first plate appearance of the day. Saw just one pitch, which he put on a line, just too close to the ground. Easy one-hop play out at shortstop. Foyer was ultimately able to get the job done. Flashes bunt just very momentarily right there. Can't imagine this is a spot where Trinity's going to want to put a safety squeeze on, but perhaps applying a little additional pressure and warranting a visit out to the mound from, let's see, I think Coach Bunch headed out there.
Indeed. Coach Bunch wanting to have a talk with Carson Brown. And Stone Street joins the meeting. Wanting to make sure everyone's on the same page on how to deal with the bases loaded situation. Maybe make sure that the bunt flash from Milligan doesn't get into their heads. It'd certainly be a surprise if Milligan flashed bunt again.
And already a couple of walks handed out here in this inning. Milligan perhaps just trying to shrink that zone just a little bit.
And catches the zone for strike one. Evens up the count at 1-1. Brown set to pitch again. Now one in the zone for strike two. So after the meeting, Carson Brown gets ahead, a 1-2 count.
And Milligan's certainly been more adept or willing to go the other way with offerings this weekend. Brown doing a nice job of tacking in the hands.
Ground ball over to Kanata. Tags first base. And the bases loaded situation for the Tigers dissipates as the Pirates able to force the grounder from Milligan. Kanata stepping on the bag will end the second inning. So we head to the top of the third. Trinity still trailing 2-0.
Top of the order for Southwestern, right fielder at 10, Jake Harris.
Back at the top of the order for the Pirates, as Jake Harris takes ball one. Bokey is still out on the mound for the Tigers. Bokey looking to keep the deficit at 2. But that one runs in and catches Harris on the leg. So base runner very quickly for the Pirates. Now Christian Melillo will work with Harris on first base.
And just looked like a bit of an over adjustment right there. Missed with the first offering of the inning on the outside part of the plate. Tried to come back, put it maybe in on the hands, just a little bit too much break, and ultimately hits Harris. So now consecutive innings where Southwestern has gotten their leadoff man on. Bokey will continue to work with some traffic.
Melillo flashed bunt and kept it out there. And throw it to first. Not in time. So Harris is safe. But 2 bunt attempts by Melillo, trying to get a ball that moves. Just couldn't find the bat to the ball. Puts him down in an 0-2 count. Talk to his coach over on the side.
And it's been odd. There's been a couple of situations like this in the last 2 games where Southwestern hitters have gone up to the plate, committed to putting a bunt down, had some buntable pitches, and the baseball's just avoided the bat. Looked like a fastball right there, as Bokey certainly would be content to trade an out for advancement of the runner right there, but instead looks like the bunt's going to be taken away.
Breaking ball on the inside misses. It's a 1-2 count for Christian Melillo. Struck out looking back in the first inning.
And it looked like momentarily there Melillo was trying to convince the home plate umpire that that one ran in and got him, but his appeals not coming to fruition.
Swing and a miss. Christian Melillo frustrated. And I'll head back to the dugout. He slams the bat on the ground.
And a tough break for Southwestern. Good opportunity. Again, getting their leadoff runner aboard. A chance to move him over, but just can't get the job done. And Bokey doing a nice job of responding and settling back in here in San Antonio.
Nice breaking ball, misses the zone. 1-0 count for James Vaquero. Usually playing the catcher position for Southwestern, but has been DHing for this series. Contact made over into left field. Looks like it'll be a foul ball. So nobody can track it out there. Milligan and Baker wanted to have a play on it, but neither of them could reach into the Trinity bullpen.
Yeah, not a ton of room down that left field foul line. There's a little bit right behind third base, but the way that that bullpen is cut out really takes away the opportunity.
Swing and a miss, throw to second. Not in time. There was a play there, but the tag not applied. So Harris will take second base in exchange for a strike to James Vaquero.
And certainly was a strike from Nicholas Lazara right there behind home plate. Looked like he put that one right on the money, but the middle infielder's a little bit too late in getting over and ultimately couldn't get the tag applied.
Check swing on the breaking ball. So Vaquero stays alive for a 2-2 count pitch coming up from Michael Boki.
And a great pitch right there from Boki to at least get Vaquero thinking about it, but an even better block by Lazara behind home plate.
And that one caught Vaquero. So he'll head to first base as perhaps the wet conditions out here in San Antonio affecting the pitching. So that one runs in.
You can see that the runner was advancing from second base right there. Harris trying to get a break on that. So maybe if any break for Michael Boki on that delivery, it's the fact that Harris will have to retreat back to second. Now we're going to see another visit out to the mound. This time it looks like it's going to be Coach Scannell headed out there.
Head coach Tim Scannell calling everybody into the mound.
More often than not, when it's the head coach headed out there, there aren't many changes that come with it. Dave Smith, the guy that goes to take the ball from whoever's on the mound. Right now, I think just a different level of intensity and focus needed. You're right. Conditions certainly could be playing an impact on the way this game's being played at the moment. It looks like Boki, that last at-bat, was trying to negate the advantage the hitter had, lefty versus righty matchup. Again, remains consistent for both of these squads, just trying a little too hard to get in on the hands of Vaquero and had one just barely leak away.
And the first pitch will catch Jacob Tanner on the arm. So the bases are loaded. Every single one of them getting on base because of a hit by pitch. So another meeting, and that will be the end of the day for Michael Boki. As the Tigers will summon a new arm from the bullpen. They'll be inheriting a tough situation as we take a break on the Tiger Network. The new arm on the mound for the Tigers, Zach Balbin, starts off with quite the challenger and Maxwell Mims in the top of the third. First pitch misses the lower outer part of the zone for ball one.
And it's not just the fact that it's Maxwell Mims. More than anything, it's the fact that there's no place to put him. I think the third time in this series that Mims has come to the plate with the bases loaded has been pretty dangerous each time.
A 2-0 pitch coming up for the 5-hole hitter. And put out into center field. Peterson under it, makes the catch. Runners are going to tag. The throw comes in. The play at third, not in time. So Southwestern will go up 3-0 as Maxwell Mims gets the sacrifice fly for a run.
And realistically, in this situation, Balbin coming into this game, all you're trying to do is limit damage, and he did so pretty effectively right there. Things could be a lot worse in facing Maxwell Mims. Mims content already with a 2-0 lead to just try and pad it a little bit more. That's exactly what he does. Second time that with the bases loaded, he's flown out to center this weekend, but in both of those, it's been enough to drive a run home.
Alexander Kanata working with runners at the corners. Vaquero at third. He also tagged from second to advance. Jacob Tanner at first. A 2-0 count for Kanata. The first baseman trying to keep things going in the top of the third for Southwestern. Check over at first. Nothing doing there. Kanata will step back into the box. 2-0 pitch. In for strike one. 2-1 count for Kanata.
And Balbin getting helped out a little bit right there. Backdoor breaking ball that just catches that corner down and away.
And that throw sailed into left field. That's going to be a run scored for Southwestern. Tanner will head to third, and the ball gets away from Holloway. And an odd play to be sure.
And Lazara pretty quickly made some sort of an appeal as he got this one out. I think arguing it must have glanced off the bat of Kanata on that throwdown.
I think on the replay, it either went off his bat or off his helmet.
But appeals not warranting any change of decision here in San Antonio as Balbin again deals to the plate. Kanata continuing to operate right there, fouls that one off.
So another tough break for the Tigers as Southwestern increases their lead 4-0. Ball misses. It's a full count for Kanata. No sacrifice fly opportunity, but Tanner very close to being run number 5 for Southwestern, but a swing and a miss. That'll end the top of the third as Kanata goes down swinging, but more damage done by the Pirates as they slash across 2 more runs to make it 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the third in San Antonio. The green jerseys coming in handy for the Pirates. They are certainly feeling lucky on St. Paddy's Day. Trying to keep the luck going. They're up 4-0 on the Tigers. As Caleb Woodward is set to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Bunt shown, laid down. Woodward running to first, but they're going to get him. Woodward can't run out the throw from Liam Stonestreet. That's one out in the bottom of the third.
And again, has the element of surprise right here, but just couldn't place this bunt quite well enough. Looked like it didn't get enough distance out there. It was right in front of the home plate dish. Pretty easy play for Stonestreet, as it creates a pretty natural throwing lane on the inside part of the bag and had Woodward beat pretty easily.
So now Nick Lazara, switch hitting catcher, trying to get the better of Carson Brown. Misses low for ball one. Brown still keeping the shutout of the Tigers on the board. 1-0 pitch. That one taken for strike one. As Brown puts a breaking ball in the zone. The 1-1 pitch. That one goes out to left field. Ranging back is the left fielder, and the catch is made. Out in left field by Christian Melillo. So 2 outs in the bottom of the third. As the Tigers starting to go 3 up, 3 down after the Pirates put up 2 in the top of the frame.
Yeah, not the way that you want to be responding offensively after your counterpart has put up some runs of their own. Did so in the second, then responded again in the third. Trinity has just been unable to muster anything here today.
Christian Holloway, easy pop fly to Jacob Tanner, who runs halfway down the line to make the catch. So 3 up, 3 down go the Tigers as we head to the top of the fourth. The Pirates still leading 4-0 on the Tiger Network. We are back in San Antonio. Trace Organ will get his first look at Balbin. Swing and a miss for strike one to Organ. As the Pirates looking to put up another 2 spot here in the top of the fourth. Pitch misses for ball one. Count evens up.
Yeah, Balbin, of course, coming into a pretty tough spot in the top of the third inning, didn't have the greatest of opportunities to talk about what he's done on the season.
That one popped out into center field. Peterson makes the catch. And 1 out away in the top of the fourth.
He's doing a nice job settling in at the moment. It's just his 3rd appearance on the year. Made one a couple of weekends ago against the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Threw 3 innings. Gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Most recently, another midweek game.
That one put out into left field. The catch made by Milligan. So 2 outs in the top of the fourth as I think 2 pitches, 2 outs for Balbin.
And continuing to show steady improvement on the year. That midweek game was certainly better than his first outing against the Warhawks, but he still had to take on East Texas Baptist. Came in through 1 1/3, 2 hits given up. One of those was a home run, so 2 earned runs got tagged to him. But still has yet to walk a batter on the season, showing some pretty nice command right here and still trying to limit the damage that Trinity's given up.
Bunt laid down. Balbin will try and field it. The throw to first. Not in time. Valiant play by Balbin, but the speed of Ben Foyer gets onto first base as he's able to run out the bunt.
Yeah, just perfectly placed on this one. Not exactly where you want to go with it with a lefty on the mound. Balbin more naturally going to fall off towards that third base foul line. That's exactly what happened, but even then had a long way to go. Neither Lazara nor Holloway over there at third were going to have an opportunity. Balbin was going to have to try and do it himself and made a pretty impressive play, spinning, putting that throw pretty much on the money, but just too much speed on the base paths and Foyer right there.
So Foyer at first base. They check over. Nothing happening there. Jake Harris signals a circle back to the top of the order for the Pirates. They check again. Still nothing doing over there. Harris has flown out and been hit by the pitch. Takes that one for a strike. It's the first pitch that he's seen from Balbin after the 2 checkups on Foyer. Tigers want the force out at second base in case they should need it. And they check again. So, a couple of checkups on Foyer for no one count. And they check again. They are really making sure Foyer does not go to second base with 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, I think more than anything at this point, if you're Balbin, you can afford to deliver home. Just important to try and change your timing.
And a ground ball gets into right field. A base hit for Jake Harris. As despite all the checking up on Foyer, he reaches second base anyways, thanks to the Jake Harris single into right field.
Really in a situation with a lefty on the mound, I don't know how much you're going to be able to deter someone moving. I think they have such an advantage. Your real best chance opportunity to throw them out is if you can fool them somehow with your cadence, take just a little bit longer than you normally do. Just too much attention being paid over there at first base, especially with 2 outs on the board. Maybe not taking Harris, the leadoff hitter for this Southwestern squad, quite seriously enough in the batter's box. Ahead 0-1 in the count, another pitch that catches a lot of the plate, and ultimately Southwestern trying to further extend things now with a 2-out rally.
1-1 count for Christian Melillo, with runners on first and second. 1-1 pitch from Balbin. Looks back over to Foyer before pitching. And Melillo grounds that one foul. So a 1-2 count for Melillo. The man in the shades steps back into the batter's box.
It's been some pretty aggressive base running and secondary leads from Foyer out there at second, and I'm a pretty aggressive catcher behind home plate. Wouldn't be so surprised to see Lazara give a check one way or another.
That one taken, evens up the count at 2-2. Christian Melillo trying to avoid the dreaded hat trick as he struck out looking in the first and struck out swinging in the third. 2-2 count. And that one put out into right field. The catch is easy enough for Caleb Woodward. And it's the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It is Alex Monson, Colt Harrison, Corson Hastings due up for the Tigers when we reach the bottom of the fourth on Tiger Network.
Now batting for Trinity, DH number 13, Alex Johnson.
Welcome back to the Tiger Network. Alex Monson, 5-hole hitter, starting things off for the Tigers. He takes ball one. Right now, Carson Brown just really taming the Tigers. It's the Buccaneer. Misses the zone for ball two to the 5-hole hitter.
And realistically, it's been more timing than anything for this Southwestern offense. Only out hitting Trinity 4-3 at the moment. Tigers not really stringing anything together. It was a big top of the third inning in which, unfortunately, Michael Boki hit several batters and gave Southwestern a lot of momentum, a lot of base runners all at once, and a big reason they're ahead in this game at the moment.
3-1 count for Monson. Taking for strike two. Count is full as Brown catches the lower inner corner. Full count pitch. Good contact into right field. It goes down the line. Monson rounds for second. He's running in, and it's a stand-up double as he got it past Alexander Kanata. So leadoff double for the Tigers.
Yeah, and it looked like a couple of times in this at-bat, Brown pretty successfully went on the hands of Monson. That time, perhaps trying to do the same. Unfortunately for him, it stayed down in the zone, but it leaked over the middle of the plate just a little bit too much. Enough so that Monson could get that barrel extended all the way out in front. Does a nice job pulling it to the same side.
Smooth slide from Liam Stonestreet. Keeps the ball in front of him, but it is in the other batter's box. A 1-0 count for Colt Harris. Grounds it down the third baseline, foul. Harris, 2 for 3 yesterday. 0 for 1 today. He flew out to Jake Harris over in right field last time he was up. Swing and a miss. The bat misses the ball.
Yeah, looked like some sort of a breaking ball that hung up there. Didn't have a whole lot of bite on it. Colt Harris trying to sit back on it as best he could, but just didn't send it the other direction.
Puts that one out into left center field, but it is too shallow as Ben Foyer just has to take one step into the grass to make the catch.
We saw Colt Harris very successfully extend his hands, throw the barrel at the baseball yesterday. Looked like he was trying to do the same right here. Just got all the way around out in front of this one. Ultimately sends it to the pull side. Couldn't get enough on it to get it over the head of Foyer out there at short. At least a solid job of trying to protect, shorten up, and put something in play.
Ball gets in between Stonestreet's legs. That'll allow Alex Monson to head on over to third base. So for Carson Hastings, now sacrifice fly opportunity for him. If he can put enough power into a hit. Tigers trying to prevent the shutout in the bottom of the fourth.
It looks like defensively, Southwestern pretty content with the lead that they have at the moment. Neither of the corners playing in. In fact, the entire infield back at regular depth, not too worried about the result of this at bat.
Top of the zone called for strike one. So a 2-1 count as Hastings didn't seem to agree with the call. That one misses low. So batters count for Corson Hastings. Singled back in the second inning. A hit here would drive in Alex Monson. Makes contact, goes into center field. The catch is made. Monson will tag. Throw to home will not be in time. So Alex Monson comes in standing up on the sacrifice fly from Corson Hastings. It is 4-1. Shutout prevented.
Yeah, good job from Hastings right here. Just putting this ball into play. It wasn't very deeply hit. And you could see Maxwell Mims charging in, catching this one on the logo out there in center field. Had a good opportunity to make a strong throw home. Unfortunately for the Pirates, just a little bit off the mark. Closer play at the plate than it might have looked like as Monson came across standing up, but it looked like Stone Street certainly had received the baseball already, was trying to whip back around and apply a tag.
Pitch misses low and inside for a ball as JP, no, not Justin Parker, Jack Peterson off the plate for the Tigers. It's a 3-0 count for him. He drew a walk back in the second and is threatening to draw a walk here in the bottom of the fourth. The lefty waiting the 3-0 pitch. And back-to-back walks for Jack Peterson. His speed on base yet again, this time with no traffic in front of him.
Yeah, and with 2 outs here, Trinity still trying to get going offensively. Would be shocked if he wasn't sent very quickly. Great opportunity as soon as he reaches base to just send him immediately to try and catch pitcher and catcher off guard. Looks like they're aware of his presence.
Stone Street keeps the ball in front of him as Jack Baker completes the back-to-back jacks in the lineup. Stone Street has a good arm behind home plate. Certainly look to catch Peterson stealing if he does go. Right now being very aware of his presence. Runner goes. The throw to second and throws offline. So Jack Peterson will steal second base as the Tigers pickpocket the Pirates for a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, great opportunity here for Jack Baker, who has certainly done his job in the bottom half of the order today of just turning things over. But, of course, he's hit all throughout this lineup. He's a guy that can hit leadoff for you, show off his speed, but does just a tremendous job of putting the baseball in play, exactly what the offense needs now with a guy with tremendous speed and scoring position.
Ground ball over to third. Throw to first. In time. So Jack Baker grounds out to Jacob Tanner, who puts him out over to Alexander Kanata at first base. But the Tigers do score a run here in the bottom of the fourth. It is 4-1. Southwestern still leading. But the Tigers not done just quite yet. We head to the fifth inning on the Tiger Network. James Vaquero, the Pirate, a 3-hole hitter, steps into the batter's box to face Zach Balbin. Pitch 1 2/3. It starts at the top of the 5th with a strike low to Vaquero. Takes a moment. Step back in. That one high. Vaquero turns his head. That one was at head level. 1-1 count. Junior out of San Marino, California. Looking to have another clean inning of work. Ground ball over to down the third base line. It is foul. Christian Holloway dove after it. But maybe thankfully it was foul, as they certainly would not have had Vaquero out at first base.
And Holloway pretty consistent with his alignment here this afternoon, especially these right-handed hitters. You can see him over there at third, hot corner on the other side of that little bit of cutout in the turf. He's had some long plays to range over towards that foul line. Looked like he might have been able to knock that one down, but again, would have been a long throw across the diamond.
It's a 2-2 count for James Vaquero as he wisely takes that ball high. 2-2 pitch from Balbin. Tried to dot the upper outer corner, but just missed. So a full count for Vaquero. That one is fouled back. So Vaquero stays alive. Balbin ticks ever closer to 30 pitches.
And a nice at-bat here from Vaquero, just fighting stuff off. Not a great opportunity on that one, but recognizes it's going to be in the zone and at least starts his hands to give himself another shot here.
That one ripped down the line, but foul. Do you see Balbin over 30 pitches now? For some of these relievers, haven't gone at length quite yet. So the Pirates trying to work the pitch count and force another arm out of the bullpen for the Tigers. And drawing a walk is Vaquero. 0 for 1 today, but he's been on base twice as he draws that walk. Jacob Tanner. He is 1 for 1. He singled in the second, got hit by the pitch in the third. Works with Vaquero on first base. As the first walk issued by Balbin on the year. Bunt shown, laid down. Balbin fields it. And able to get Tanner at first. At Hastings, make probably a more difficult pick than he'd like. But still 1 out in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, it looked like Corson Hastings needed every bit of that 6'4" frame to extend and haul that one in. Nice job of ultimately coming together to get an out right there, but Southwestern showing that they want that run back just as quickly as they gave it up. They have someone in scoring position with Maxwell Mims back to the plate.
Ball 1 for Mims, as now he gets a second look at Balbin. Not working with bases loaded, but a runner in scoring position. Contact made, but it is fouled back. That one lands on the Bell Center. Mims 1 for 1 today, has an RBI for himself. Another solid drive out to right, but it is foul. So
good job in this at-bat from Balbin, just working ahead of Maxwell Mims, exactly where you want to be. Good opportunity here to just work the edges of the zone. Don't want to give him anything too good to hit. something you can afford to do up 1-2.
That one runs in on Mims, who fouls that one off. So staying alive against Balbin. Trying to extend the at-bat as long as possible. Vaquero not off the mind of Balbin as he looks towards him. Too high. 2-2 count for Maxwell Mims.
Certainly don't want to lose Mims considering the fact that you were able to jump ahead 1-2, but have to recognize how dangerous of a bat he is, even in the 5-hole. Very seasoned veteran here for Southwestern. With a base open, you would rather issue the free pass if you have to, but not going to be the case.
Mims strikes out looking as Balbin catches the outer part of the zone. So Mims will head back.
It's a really good spot right there from Balbin. Even better frame from Nick Lazara behind home plate. Just subtly pulls this one back. Exactly how you have to attack once you get ahead 1-2 right there. Continue to throw pitches right around the edge of the zone. See if you can force the hands of the hitter and do some sort of soft contact or swing and miss. At very worst, see if your catcher can help you out, and that's exactly what happened in Balbin's day.
So Balbin helping the Tigers get 2 outs in the top of the 5th, but it will be a new pitcher to come out and complete it. Shepard Tyler on the mound for Trinity. We will take a break here on the Tiger Network as he gets warmed up. Shepard Tyler, the new arm that the Tigers call upon to get them out of the top of the 5th. Certainly a change in pitching style as the sidearm pitcher will start things off against Alexander Kanata, senior out of Austin, Texas. Still working with Vaquero at second base, but strike one as Shepard Tyler dots that one in the zone.
Kind of pretty dense portion of this Southwestern order with a lot of right-handed hitters opting for the change and go with a couple of righties in a row. There's going to be a check out there at second. Close play, but nothing doing. Looks like Tyler's going to have to go head on against Kanata at the plate if he wants to get out of this inning.
The 0-1 pitch. Nope, they check Vaquero at second again. Tyler doesn't bother to throw, but not wanting Vaquero to take off. That pitch misses for ball one. The count evens up, 1-1 for Kanata. 0 for 1 today. Sacrificed in the second, struck out in the third. Now in a 1-1 count in the top of the fifth. Ground ball down the line, and it is foul. I think Corson Hastings tried to keep it alive, as it would have been an easy putout. But nope, just rolls foul. So Kanata will get another shot at Shepard Tyler.
Yeah, and a pretty difficult job right there, dealing with the first base as an obstacle, trying to work over it, as you mentioned, to beat that ball to the spot, but couldn't quite get there before it snuck over that line.
The pitch from Tyler. That one misses high, so a 2-2 count. Kanata checking the swing just a little bit. Had some movement in the arms, but didn't go. Runner goes to third. The throw. Not be in time as the ball out of the glove of Christian Holloway. So James Vaquero will steal third base as they take advantage of Kanata. That one fouled off. Because, you know, Kanata standing in that third base path makes the throw a bit more difficult for Lazara.
I think it was Kanata who impacted one of the throws that we've already seen here this afternoon.
Liner. Snagged and put away. Colt Harris flashes the leather as he takes in the hot shot from Kanata. He takes a base hit from him. So, despite how threatening that situation looks, the Pirates unable to come away with anything as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Southwestern still up 4-1. Carson Brown back out in the fifth inning. The Pirates starter has held the Tigers to 1 run. But not satisfied with his line today is Max Milligan. 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Contact put out in to left field. And 1 pitch, 1 out as Christian Melillo makes the catch out in left field. As Max Milligan once again staying aggressive, but coming up empty-handed.
And it's been a little bit of a change in MO for Milligan the last 2 days. Much more willing to go the opposite direction. Not finding any success with it here this afternoon against Southwestern. As on top of the lineup has largely struggled in this one. Milligan and Woodward now a combined 0 for 5. Woodward steps back into the box for his 3rd appearance on the afternoon, trying to change that.
1-1 pitch. Ground ball. Taken in by Oregon. And Caleb Woodward is retired nearly as quickly. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th as the first 2 batters for the Tigers continue to struggle. Nick Lazara, the junior, will try and get something going for the Tigers and prevent the 1-2-3 inning. As we're over halfway done in this game 3. And the Tigers still find themselves trailing. Lazaro takes strike 1 on the breaking ball that broke in, but still in the zone.
I think it's largely been what we expected out of Carson Brown. A lot of strikes that he has thrown as this one sneaks in and gets Lazaro on the front foot. Something that we've become especially used to here in this game 3. A lot of hit by pitches today. Outside of that, Brown on the mound has been very impressive and very willing to pitch to contact of these Trinity hitters. Realistically, it has not come back to hurt him the way it has in his previous starts this season.
The cleanup bat, Christian Holloway. Takes that one for ball 1. Once again working with Lazara on first base. Over 2 today. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Flew out in foul territory back in the 3rd. Takes that one for strike 1. The senior trying to keep the bottom of the 5th going and pass the baton on to Alex Monson, who waits on deck. Easy enough pitch to take. So a 2-1 count for Christian Holloway. It's righty versus righty. Wise take. That one was a bit too high. So batter's count for the cleanup bat. Showed his power off yesterday. That one put up the middle for a base hit. So Lazaro will go to second. Christian Holloway will stand at first now. A solid contact sent a liner up the middle.
Yeah, and it's been the 3 through 7 hitters who have found the most success in this Trinity offense today. They account for all 5 hits, and stepping to the plate, a guy that already has 2, Alex Monson, trying to continue his hot day at the plate and keep this Trinity 2-out rally going.
Pitch taken inside for ball 1 for Alex Monson. 2 for 2 day consists of a single in the 2nd and a double in the 4th. And a 2-0 count for Monson. As Brown now showing some struggles with the command. That will put in for a strike though.
Yeah, nice breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Monson choosing to lay off that one. Looking for something that he can barrel up. It's exactly what he's done both of those plate appearances. Sent one right back up the middle and then got out in front of something that he pulled in his last time up.
Ground ball. Weird bounce off the mound. Throw to first is in time. So despite the weird bounce off the mound, the Tigers are going to come up empty-handed as they get Monson out at first base.
And it's just great recovery from Foyer out there at short. Looked like it was a glance off the glove of Brown on the mound, and it made it a very, very close one at the bag. Ultimately, looks like the tie not going to the runner that time around.
We head to the next inning, the top of the 6th on the Tiger Network. Pirates are still up 4-1. We are back. Trace Oregon, the 7-hole bat, gets us started. Shepard Tyler gets that pitch. Tried to get it in the zone, but just misses on the inside. Ball 1. Pitch low and inside for ball 2. So Oregon trying to get things started good here in the top of the 6th. And with a 3-0 count, could get on base. Shepard Tyler has worked only a third of an inning, got the out back in the top of the 5th. And 4 pitches, 4 balls, and 1 walk for Trace Oregon.
A good start to the top of the 6th for Southwestern. Getting Oregon on base is the bottom portion of this order and tries to operate a little bit more successfully. Oregon started his day 0 for 2. Certainly take any opportunity to get on base that's afforded to him.
Strike 1 to Liam Stonestreet. Pirate catcher works with Oregon on first base. And once again, we see a bunt flash, and they commit to it. That's going to be a strike as they can't make contact with the ball.
Yeah, just poking at the very last second. Never going to be very effective in trying to get the bunt down. Just too off balance to do the job right there.
Swing and a miss. So Stonestreet strikes out for the first out of the top of the 6th.
And some real struggles with the situational baseball here in San Antonio for Southwestern this weekend. Another opportunity to try and pad this lead, but not coming into effect there as they again failed to get a bunt down.
They check Oregon over at first. Not really a competitive play over there. Oregon is safe. It's now Ben Foyer. 9-hole spot. 1 for 2 today. Legged out a bunt. But now ahead in a 1-0 count. Time called. Looks like maybe a change on the base paths. Yes, it is. So pinch runner for the Pirates. Interesting decision. So if I read the number correctly, is number 49 Logan Wilson. So Wilson will come into pinch run for the Pirates in place of Trace Oregon. We'll see what kind of speed he brings to the base paths. Runs inside, but they're going to say that Foyer swung. So 1-1 count for Foyer as he tried to dodge out of the way, ended up swinging inadvertently. That one lined foul into the foul netting above the Pirate dugout.
And things change very quickly. You're right. Just trying to avoid that pitch, running all the way in on his hands. In the process, spinning out of the way. Technically, barrel breaks the plane. Strike 1. Good job from Tyler in this at-bat. Coming back, attacking him with the very next pitch. All he can do is fight it off. A big opportunity for a strikeout here.
They check Wilson over at first. He is safe. Pirate pinch runner not getting picked off by Tyler. The 1-2 pitch on the way. That one lined foul. Goes off the pole, and a cheer from the field.
You have to wonder how much the motion from Tyler on the mound is impacting Logan Wilson's ability to get a real good read and jump out there on the base paths. With 2 strikes on the hitter, good time to go right now.
Swing and a miss. And Shepard Tyler puts out the foyer, and he'll go back to the dugout. We'll visit at the mound. That'll be the end of Shepard Tyler's day. So a new arm in for the Tigers. It will be Brandon Morio. We'll give him a second to get warmed up on the Tiger Network. There's 2 outs in the top of the 6th with the runner on first base.
To the top of the order, the Pirates, number 10, Jake Harris.
And it's a Morio time. Brandon Morio on the mound for the Tigers. He goes up against Jake Harris here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Check over at first on Wilson as he inherits that base runner on first base. For the lefty Morio, much easier to check in on Wilson. First pitch misses for ball 1.
And with Morio now on the mound, have to imagine it's going to be very difficult for Wilson to go anywhere. And probably part of the reason this change gets made.
Runner goes, throw to second. It goes off the runner and into the outfield. He'll head to third, the throw to third. Nowhere near in time, so what was supposed to be a stolen base at second turns into a trip to third base for Logan Wilson. Zazara's throw, I think, careened off of Wilson. Ended up getting hit over into right field.
See the replay. A good pitch to throw on from Lazara right here. Got it right where he wanted it, up and outside. Creates that throwing lane. Made what looked like a pretty strong strike down to second base, but very frequently this year it's been a tough connection between catcher and middle infielders, and not so often has it resulted in outs on the base paths.
That one put out into center field. It'll get down. So a run is going to score for the Pirates. RBI single for Jake Harris as Logan Wilson will come in to score. Pirates put the deficit back at 4. It is 5-1.
And Morio coming in, you see that one just continue to fade and drop in front of Jack Peterson. Does a nice job out of the pin of just attacking the strike zone. Unfortunate that the runner wound up all the way over at third. Otherwise, Peterson might have an opportunity to try and make a throw home if the runner is only on second in scoring position.
So with Harris at first base, brings up Christian Melillo. 1-0 count. Check over at first. Nothing competitive, though. Harris goes in standing up. But in for a strike. Still 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Tigers looking for any way to get out of it. Pirates have handled everything effectively, taking advantage of the chances they have been given. To be sure, they have certainly been given them. Feeling the St. Patrick's Day luck. As, of course, some of those runs coming in off of errant throws from the Tigers. And some well-placed base hits to get runners on. The Tigers still have to find a way to get 4 runs across to at least tie the game. They need 5 to take the lead. Pitch is low, so a 3-1 count for Melillo. 0 for 3 today, trying to get on base at all costs. Pitch from Oreo. Fouled back, so a full count. As Christian Melillo will head back to face off against Brandon Morio. Ground ball taken in by Baker. The throw over to first in time. Some minimal damage done, but still damage nonetheless in the top of the 6th. The Pirates go up 5-1. Due up for the Tigers, Colt Harris, Corson Hastings, and Jack Peterson when we get to the bottom of the 6th. Carson Brown has been having a good day so far as he puts the first pitch to Colt Harris in for strike 1. The senior out of Houston Christian High School. Carson Brown, over 90 pitches on the day. Can't imagine how much longer his day is going to last with that pitch count. But a 1-2 count. Trying to at least finish off the bottom of the 6th. Record the quality start. Ball for Colt Harris. 0 for 2 today. One put out into right field. And 2 Pirates out there, but the one to make the catch was a new face out there at second base. It is Sam Castillo. So Castillo makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning for the Tigers.
Yeah, nice job. Not an easy play to make. Getting inserted into the game. having to track back behind second base, drifting, and ultimately brings it in. Would have hurt pretty significantly considering the fact that Jake Harris, playing out in right field, looked to clearly be there. Might have been a more routine play for the outfielder, but nonetheless, Southwestern will take the out any way they can get it.
Corson Hastings trying to get anything going for the Tigers. Pitch misses high. They have put hits on the board. They have 5. The difference is, of course, the runs. That one hammered down the line, but foul.
Really loud off the bat as well. Sounded like glass shattering. Corson Hastings, certainly a big bat, a lot of pop in it in a day where pop's mostly been negated by the weather here in San Antonio.
Weak contact taken in by Castillo. Throw to first, not in time. So Corson Hastings gets on first base, able to leg that one out.
Yeah, and just a shocking play all around, frankly. Brown probably wisely decides not to go after this one. Castillo has plenty of time to get this throw over to first with Hastings, who's certainly has an advantage coming from the left-handed batter's box, but just not that much urgency in the field defensively for Southwestern right there. And Trinity, who's still struggling to get things going, doesn't need any free passes, but they'll get one here in the bottom of the 6th.
And there will be a pinch runner for the Tigers. Number 49, Jarrett Phillips, coming to pinch run for Hastings. Jack Peterson takes the first pitch. Inside pitch for strike 1. The senior has walked twice today. Phillips gets checked on over at first, but he's safe. Carson Brown working with the runner at his back. It's a 1-1 count for Jack Peterson. He takes a moment. Try not to take too much of a moment. Called struck out looking due to a time violation in this series. Runner goes, but a pop fly, so Phillips is going to have to run back. So an unfortunate play. Peterson flies out into very shallow center field as Phillips was going.
Yeah, just an unfortunate pitch to have the hit and run on right here. Fastball up in the zone that Peterson couldn't quite get on top of, skied it out to very, very shallow center field right behind second base. Otherwise, if he had gotten it on the ground, might have had the opportunity to really complete that play.
Jarrett Phillips will have a stolen base as the throw from Stone Street just not there. It was a good, strong throw, just a bit offline. So Phillips will stand at second for Jack Baker. Ground ball down the third base line, but foul.
It's a good job by this offense. Phillips, clearly with a lot of speed on the base paths, couldn't get the play executed with the hit and run, not sitting around to waste any more time over there at first. Next delivery after the fact, taking off, gets a really good jump, ultimately gets into scoring position.
That pitch misses. See what Baker has cooking up as he still faces the Southwestern starter, Carson Brown. That one over Baker's head. 3-1 count. That's Brown's pitch count in the triple-digit territory now. Trying to get out of the 6th. It's going to be a walk drawn by Jack Baker. We'll head over to first base. So 2 runners on for the Tigers, trying to get a 2-out rally going. And Pierce Matthews who has been one to hit timely home runs. This one would certainly be very timely. But first, there's going to be a meeting at the mound. See if that signals the end of Carson Brown's day.
And at first glance, it appears that it will not be the case, but you never know. Might be buying a little bit of extra time for some arms in that Southwestern bullpen, because you're right. One way or another, the leash is very, very short for Brown on the mound, considering the fact that he's now coming close to 110 pitches on his day. One way or another, the Pirates are going to need some help from their bullpen if they want to see this one all the way through. But on the other side of things, of course, Pierce Matthews stepping up to the plate, and it comes after the 1 and 2 hole hitters today, and Milligan and Woodward have struggled, but it will be a different pitcher that ultimately Pierce Matthews will have to square off against.
The first mate for the Pirates will head back to the dugout as Carson Brown pitches a really good game. But they will call on someone else to deal with one out in the bottom of the 6th. They inherit 2 base runners. We will take a break on the Tiger Network and allow the new pitcher to get warmed up. A familiar face here on the mound for the Pirates. Andrew Harden. Back-to-back appearances for the sophomore. This time, the situation a bit more pressure-inducing with 2 runners on. And Pierce Matthews at the plate. Takes that one for ball 1.
And this time operating with a lead out there on the mound, trying to keep it intact. And trying, truthfully, to keep it all the way at 4 runs. Don't want this Trinity offense to cut into it in any way, as he'll get the benefit of a ball that looked to be a little low to Pierce Matthews right there. Stone Street behind the plate, doing a nice job of bringing that one up with his frame.
1-1 pitch to Pierce Matthews. That one launched into a left center field, but it will die. And that will be the end of the 6th inning, as a strong hit is just not strong enough. So 2 runners stranded for the Tigers as we head to the top of the 7th on the Tiger Network. Pirates are still leading at 5-1. Nearly underway in the top of the 7th as James Vaquero 0 for 1 today, but he's been on base twice. He's been hit by the pitch. He's drawn a walk. And swings at the first thing he sees, but fouls it back. That one goes off the side of the Bell Center before bouncing back towards the stands. The rain has seemingly left. And another hit by pitch by a Tiger pitcher. As Vaquero will head over to first base. Pitch runs in on him. Lazara will go out to the mound along with pitching coach Dave Smith. And that's going to be the end of the day for Brandon Morio, once he pitches 2 times at the top of the 7th before a new Tiger comes out of the bullpen. We will take a break on the Tiger Network as the new pitcher for the Tigers comes into the game. Back to the Tiger Network. The new arm, Ian Swafford. He comes into this one inheriting James Vaquero over at first base. As the first pitch swung on, but foul. Jacob Tanner will have to head back to the batter's box.
Yeah, very nearly just a swinging bunt right there from Tanner. I think pretty wisely, Lazara, watching that one go foul, might have had a brief opportunity to field it in fair territory, but recognizing that there's a runner on base, trying to keep him out of scoring position, pretty vital at the moment.
Pickoff attempt over at first. But everything is all good there for James Vaquero. Swafford. 0-1 pitch. Bunt attempt. Thought he was going to pull it back, but then he kind of put it back out there. So 0-2 count for Jacob Tanner.
And again, kind of just poking at it at the very last second. Always makes it more difficult when you're moving the bat. Just better to get it well out in front and keep it where it is.
Pitch gets away from Lazara. Vaquero will head over to second base. The 0-2 count. Tanner will most likely abandon the bunt. Instead doing things the way he knows how to do best. Slashing with the bat and getting a hit. With the runner in scoring position. That one misses.
Pretty good spot there from Swafford. Unfortunately for him, that pass ball just taking the bunt out of the equation when it probably already was gone with 2 strikes on the hitter.
That one hit into the outfield. Right fielder catches it. Runner thinks about tagging, but doesn't ultimately go. So Maddox McDonald, who's out in right field now, catches it cleanly. James Vaquero is forced to stay at second. 1 out in the top of the 7th, as now Maxwell Mims gets another shot at a Tiger pitcher.
Yeah, things not hurting Swafford too badly right there. Fly ball the opposite direction. Certainly gave Southwestern an opportunity for the runner to tag and advance an extra 90 feet. But a little too shallow, and a strong play from Maddox McDonald, who checks into the game defensively, getting into third very quickly, trying to negate any ideas in the head of Vaquero at second.
That one put out into the gap. Down in left field. The runner will come home, and he will score. So it is 6-1 Pirates advantage as Maxwell Mims gets an RBI single.
Yeah, and Mims just hunting for something in the zone right here, way out in front of that fastball. And he's done a nice job of barreling pitches all weekend. Just adjust the timing a little bit right there in order to put something into the gap. He had lined out to center field several times already in this series, but a better job of getting the baseball to fall there.
So now Alexander Kanata, 0-2 today, trying to get a hit for himself. Southwestern looking to prevent the sweep. Runner goes. Third to second, not in time. So stolen base for Maxwell Mims. Works wonders with the bat, getting that one on the base path with his legs. Got to remember Mims being out there in center field. He's got some speed on him as well. Strike 2 to Kanata. So Swafford ahead in the count. One out in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. So Kanata will head back to the dugout. Victim of a strikeout to Swafford. Maxwell Mims doesn't go anywhere. Stays on second base.
And that's one benefit of getting ahead in counts and operating very quickly. Doesn't give Mims very many opportunities there to advance the extra 90 feet to third. Now with 2 outs, it won't matter all that much that he's in scoring position.
Contact made, hit out into right field. And it looks like it'll be a foul ball. Or no, it's going to be an out. Thought the umpire signaled foul ball. Catch made out in right field. That'll be the end of the top of the 7th. We head to the bottom of the 7th on the Tiger Network. Andrew Harden will head back to the mound. Leading off for the Tigers in the bottom of the 7th is Maddox McDonald. McDonald takes the first pitch for strike 1. You're done stretching in San Antonio. Tigers find themselves down by 5. A grounder taken in by Foyer. The throw over to first is in time, so Maddox McDonald retired for the first out at the bottom of the 7th.
And a little bit more urgency from Foyer on that one. Hard hit ball that doesn't take any odd hops on this turf in San Antonio. Certainly necessary to make this a ball fielded cleanly over there at short, because Maddox McDonald can get down the line in a rush, and he did so right there, but Foyer, cognizant of it, got the ball out of his glove and on to first as quickly as he could, and it was just enough to get the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 7th.
So now Nick Lazara, junior catcher, takes ball 1. That one in for strike 2 as the breaking ball catches the lower outer corner. And the chances for the Tigers wearing thin here in game 3. Strike 2. 1-2 count for Nicholas Lazara. Sent out into left field. And that one will get down. It's going to only be a base hit for Lazara. It was close to the foul line, it seems. But muscled out into left field. And Christian Melillo trying to track it down, just couldn't get there in time. So base runner for Christian Holloway. Once again, it's Nick Lazara. It's usually been Nick Lazara in this game.
Yeah, Lazara with a little bit of a pause out of the box. Wasn't entirely sure if that one was going to stay fair or if it was going to end up in foul territory. Just barely avoided the line and does provide Trinity with a base runner here in the bottom of the 7th. Desperately needing some run support to try and claw back into this one. Don't need to get all of it back right here in this inning. Certainly, however, a good opportunity to bring several hitters to the plate with this middle portion of the offense that's been really the only bright spot of the day.
0-1 pitch to Christian Holloway. Easy pitch to take for ball 1. Hasn't all been smooth sailing for the Pirates. The Tigers have threatened to score a couple of times, but just coming up empty-handed almost every time. Swing and a miss. Holloway chases us at a ball that broke.
And good sequencing right there from Harden. Fastball up, changes the eye level of Christian Holloway, then comes back with something slow that just drops out of the zone.
A swing and a miss. Christian Holloway is out number 2 of the bottom of the 7th. As Andrew Harden collects his first strikeout of the day.
Unfortunate for Christian Holloway right there. Real opportunity here in the home half. Now 2 outs on the board. Harden just 1 away from getting back into the dugout. Alex Monson going to look to do any damage that he can right now to help out this offense.
Monson 2 for 3 today. The designated hitter has a single and a double. Single in the 2nd, double in the 4th. Grounded out in the 5th. Pitch outside. Evens up the count at 1-1. It seems when the Tigers do have that opportunity to get something going, it's usually with 2 outs on the board. Now misses low and in. 2-1 count for Monson. A ground out in the 5th. Seems like a very close play. Check swing foul.
And Monson remaining very patient in this at-bat. Even trailing, looking for something that he would like to hit. Harden getting him to at least start his hands right there. Unfortunately, couldn't quite check his swing, and foul tip forces this one to 2-2.
Solid contact, gets into right field. Hard ground ball, getting in between Castillo and Kanata. So 2 base runners for the Tigers in the bottom of the 7th. As the buck gets passed on to Colt Harris. Senior 0 for 3 today. Can come in big here with a hit. It's the first pitch high for ball 1.
If you're Harris, have to take a similar approach that Monson just had. Remain patient at the plate. Ultimately force Harden on the mound to make some sort of a mistake. Don't blame him for watching that breaking ball right there, but if another one hangs up in the zone, very similar to what we saw in the last at-bat to Monson, you have to make him pay for it.
Ground ball up the middle, could be 2. But they only need 1 either way. They take the easy out at second. That'll be the end of the 7th inning. Pirates are still up by 5. It is a score of 6-1. Tigers will look to keep Liam Stonestreet, Ben Foyer, and Jake Harris quiet in the top of the 8th.
Tom Reed leading off for the Pirates. Catcher number 37, Liam Stonestreet.
Eighth inning in San Antonio. Pirates have the advantage. As Liam Stonestreet swings through the first pitch for strike 1. It's 0 for 3 today. Reached on an error, flew out to left field, and struck out in the 6th. Weak contact fouled back. So now quickly down in an 0-2 hole against Ian Swafford. Swing and a miss. So Stonestreet goes down swinging. One out in the top of the 8th. Swafford collects strikeout number 2 for himself on the day.
And Swafford has been impressive in just his second appearance of the season. Another arm that came in against the Tigers of ETBU in that midweek game this past week in Marshall, Texas. Back end of the bullpen here late Sunday afternoon for this Trinity squad, but certainly appears as if he's earning some favor with his coaching staff at the moment, throwing a majority of strikes, although he leaves that one just off the plate.
So a 1-1 count for Ben Foyer. 1 for 3 today. Trying to catch the lower outer corner, but just can't. It's a 2-1 count for Foyer. Run has come in on Swafford's watch, but isn't earned against him. Got tagged to Brandon Morio. But a 3-1 count to Ben Foyer. Trying not to walk the 9-hole bat. But that's just what he does. So Ben Foyer throws the bat. We'll head over to first base as Jake Harris, who's been having one of the best days for a Pirate bat so far, 2 for 3. But first, a meeting at the mound. Judging by the body language, looks like it'll be the end of Swafford's day potentially. Swafford coming back to the mound. And now the ball handed off. New pitcher for the Tigers in the top of the 8th. Swafford will get 1 out. The new pitcher inherits a Ben Foyer at first base. We will take a break on the Tiger Network as another arm gets warmed up. The pitching medley continues for Trinity as Matthew Mackey is the new arm on the mound. And it looks like the rain has shown up again as people pull out their umbrellas. Mackey certainly trying to rain on Southwestern's parade. The first pitch is low for ball 1 to the leadoff bat, Jake Harris.
It's Mackey's first time on the bump for this Trinity squad in a couple of weeks. His last appearance coming against the University of Wisconsin Whitewater here in San Antonio. Threw 2 innings in that game. Got hit around just a little bit against what was a very, very impressive Warhawks offense that put up quite a few runs over the course of 4 games.
And fouled off. Southwestern being just north of Austin. Have a nice crowd despite the weather. One pitch. And swung through, fouled off. And Harris slamming the bat a little bit. Swung at a breaking ball. Mackey trying to get out number 2 in the top of the 8th. Check Foyer over at first. See, I assume to be Southwestern fans behind home plate in the black and yellow parasol. That one misses away So 2-2 count for Harris. Too high. So the count juiced. Foyer on first base. Mackey struggling with the command a little bit now. They check Foyer. Foyer comes back standing. That one misses the zone. A good idea, but not coming to fruition for Mackey as he walks the first batter he sees. Runner in scoring position for Christian Melillo.
And not a bad idea from Mackey right there. And tries to get the breaking ball that finishes just a little bit too low. Ultimately a better take at the plate by Jake Harris. Southwestern again has something rolling on offense.
Trying something similar against Melillo, but a ball all the same. Pirates not biting on the breaking balls. One-0 pitch. Runners go. Throw to second. A little offline, so double steal is good for Southwestern. So 2 runners, both in scoring position.
And Zara electing to throw all the way through right there. Imagine that runner at first had to delay just a little bit with Mackey, the lefty, on the mound. But even then, catching this Trinity defense a bit by surprise, it felt like right there. Mackey more concerned with the batter at the plate. A little bit of a change. We've seen guys come into this one and pay a lot of attention to the runners in the base paths. Right now, looks like the coaching staff going to elect to put the batter on. So Melillo will head down to first base. He'll bring back into effect force outs at every bag in the infield. Mackey, of course, behind in that at-bat 2-1. Rather start over, clean slate here against James Vaquero.
Vaquero 0 for 1 today. Swings, fouls that one back. Flew out in the first inning. Then he got hit by a pitch in the third. Walked in the fifth. And then got hit by a pitch in the seventh. So he's been on base 3 times. Certainly not an unproductive day. Strike 2 to Vaquero. Quickly finds himself in a deficit. Mackey steps off.
And again, 0-2 count. Don't want to waste any pitches here, considering you have a good opportunity. Keep everything low, right around the zone. Try and force the hands of Vaquero. See if you can't induce a ground ball. It's exactly why you put a runner on first base here in the top of the 8th. See if you can't turn that double play at some portion of the infield. There, goes with a pitch up, out of the zone. Easy for Vaquero to lay off of.
Pitch too high. Evens up the count at 2-2. Bases being loaded. Can be an asset for the Tigers as you have those force outs, but can also be a liability as a sacrifice fly brings in a run with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Balances out on the balance sheet. One fouled off of Vaquero. So we'll reset the play.
That's the thing about this at bat. Of course, the sac fly being a real possibility. Fastball up, not the pitch you would want to go to. That's how, as a hitter at the plate, you're going to deliver that outcome. Going to try and catch up to that pitch the best you can. That's going to be the one that's easier to sky into the outfield. The last breaking ball, all Vaquero can do with it is foul it off himself. Very low likelihood that he gets it up in the air.
That one in the turf. Full count with the bases loaded.
The other aspect of things, that fastball up a little easier for Vaquero to lay off of as well. Forced the hands on the first breaking ball. This one just spiked too far out in front of the plate.
Bases loaded. Count juiced. Contact made. Gotten by Harris. One out at second. And the throw to first is a bit high from Baker. Holloway has to jump. Comes off the bag, and a run will come in to score. So they get an out, but can't complete the double play.
And it looked like Harris, in being forced to the ground right there, just struggled to get that ball out of his glove. Eventually got it to Baker, but shortstop had to rush a little bit too much in trying to get that one over to first. Vaquero runs very, very well. It's going to be a bang-bang play with the way that one developed, and ultimately it was a little too high.
Runner goes, and Lazaro won't bother throwing to second. So Tigers surrender the run and surrender second base. It is 7-1. Jacob Tanner, cleanup bat. Swings through that one, so 1-1 count. The game already isn't out of hand. A good swing by Tanner could put it even more out of hand. The pitch. Contact taken in by Harris. The throw over to first. Much easier for Holloway to get to. That'll end the top of the 8th. We head to the bottom of the frame on the Tiger Network. Pirates 7, Tigers 1.
Southwestern 7, Trinity 1. Following the lead off for the Tigers, service number 33, Ty Tinker.
Bottom of the 8th. Pinch hitter for the Tigers, it's Kai Tinker. First pitch in for strike one to the pinch hitter. Tinker coming into this one. The Tigers are looking for a boost of offense. Tigers with 8 hits on the day, but those 3 errors on the board really coming to haunt them. Tinker step back into the box after getting some instructions. It's a 2-1 count for the new bat. That misses high, so a 3-1 count. Andrew Harden still in the game. Trying to go the distance and secure Southwestern their first win in conference play. 3-1 pitch. Bunt shown. It's pulled back. That one is a strike. Harden fired that one down Main Street.
Yeah, I think more of an approach, trying to shrink the strike zone a little bit.
What is fouled? Trying to make a play on it, but just too far outside. So foul ball, full count pitch coming up again.
A good job from Tinker, at least being ready to swing it right there after watching that one right down the middle. Gonna have to fight now in a full count scenario. Certainly a team, even down 6 runs here in the bottom of the 8th, that has the capacity to come back, can score in bunches.
Kai Tinker, foul tip, strikeout. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th as the Tigers get less and less chances. Senior Jack Peterson steps back up to the dish, trying to make some magic happen. As now, it's actually Ty Preston coming into bat for Jack Peterson. Takes ball 1. Peterson will end his day with 2 walks drawn and a pop-up. One taken for a strike, so Tigers will replacing the lefty bat with another lefty bat.
Yeah, an interesting change here in San Antonio, considering Ty Preston was pretty everyday starter in the campaign last year. Came into this season with that expectation, suffered an injury, one that I think maybe forced him out of a game here in this series in San Antonio this weekend. Wasn't quite sure whether or not he was available, but in a spot where they need offense, he'll come into the game looking to deliver.
2-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul. Whenever defensive substitutions and pinch hitters are put in, usually it is Jack Peterson who is the mainstay in the lineup, but this time Preston getting the call to pinch hit for him. Ground ball gets through, so a single for Ty Preston. So it gets under the dive of Sam Castillo. So productive AB for Preston as the pinch hitter gets on base. And he will be pinch run for.
Pinch runner for Trinity, now running at first base, number 21, Michael Lucina.
So Michael Lucina, number 21, pinch running for Ty Preston. As now coming up to bat is Cam Champness. Takes a big practice swing, 2 big practice swings for tipping the helmet, stepping into the box. So a parade of pinch hitters. That one in the turf. Lucina content to stay at first.
And lots of changes to this lineup throughout the course of the game for Coach Scannell. Not a ton to be all that satisfied with from an offensive perspective. Opportunities today to swing the bat against the pitchers that have thrown for Southwestern. Unfortunately, just not solid contact. Baseball has not been barreled up by these Trinity Tigers. They'll hand it off to some different numbers and names and see if they can find a way to get this offense going in the late stages of this one.
Fouled back, 1-2 count for Cam Champness. And the sophomore working with Lucina over at first base. He awaits the 1-2 pitch from Andrew Harden. That pitch misses high and away, evens up the count at 2-2. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. As Champness stays alive.
Of course, we've yet to talk about it today, Reed, but it seems especially relevant. Jackson Tier, a normal Sunday starter for this Trinity bullpen, suffering an injury in last weekend's Sunday outing. pretty late in the stages of that one, but feel like it has played an impact on the way the game has been played today. It's Trinity offense that is not forced to put up all that many runs with Jackson Tier out on the mound, a guy that struck out 20 in a game earlier this season, a guy that you trust to go out and throw for a solid 6, 7, if not 8 or 9 full innings. And they just simply didn't have that luxury today. Southwestern getting better run supported in this one than they have in the rest of the series. And Trinity trying to find a way to piece things together with his bullpen by using 6, 7 arms. But ultimately, Southwestern prevailing pretty impressively so far.
Full count for Cam Champness. Takes that one for ball 4. So once again, the Tigers have a runner in scoring position, but the question is, can they bring Lustina home? And no change at the 1-hole spot as Pierce Matthews will step back up to the dish. As looks like Coach Bunch out of the dugout wanting to have a mound visit with this pitcher. See if it is a chat or a change. Looks to be right now just to be a chat. Yeah, Luke, you mentioned the absence of Jackson Tier in this one. Of course, with a quality arm like him, want to be cautious and not rush anything in the process. But still, either way, for the Tigers, even with Tier on the mound, only scratching across 1 run. Still need to do a ton of work on the offensive side of the ball because you can be the best pitcher in the world, but you can never get a win if your offense can't support you. Pitch misses low to Pierce Matthews as Hardin is struggling a little bit with the command right now.
Certainly the opportunities have been there for this Trinity offense. Just haven't had that much continuity.
Ground it up the middle. Flip to second base in time. And it looks like a collision there. And Ben Foyer taking a moment to get up. So runners at the corners as it looks like Champness slid into the back of the leg of Foyer.
And it looked like it was Castillo out there at second base who was playing with a little bit more depth, was ranging behind the bag, and by the time he was flipping it to Foyer, Foyer had kind of turned back to the short side of the infield. And in the process, you're right, turned his back to Champness, who looked like he came in head first and then just had a little bit too much momentum, carried him through the back of the legs.
Swing and a miss. Max McDonald swings at a pitch that breaks. Good breaking ball from Hardin. Foyer staying tough, staying strong, getting the out at second. Well, gets away for just a moment from Stone Street, but able to keep it in front of him. Runner stay.
But again, the chances have been there. It's the continuity that has not. To this point, I believe it's 10-plus runners that Trinity has left out there on the bases. Now up to 11 on the afternoon, and 2 more sitting out there, and with 2 outs on the board, the Tigers at risk of increasing that number even further.
The play by Foyer prevents bases being loaded with only 1 out. McDonald puts that one out into left field. It's down for a base hit. So a run will come across for the Tigers as Lustina comes in to score. RBI for Maddox McDonald. Pierce Matthews will head to second base. McDonald will stand at first. And the 3-hole hitter, Nick Lazara, will stay in the lineup and come up to the dish. 2 for 3 today.
But it's good to see Maddox McDonald change his luck a little bit right there. A guy that has been in and out of the lineup, slumping a little bit here in San Antonio, but a couple of hard hit balls in this one certainly will look to change that. A nice job recognizing a breaking ball, just hanging up in the zone, throws his hands at it and barrels it up.
Pitch 1 taken for a strike to Lazara. Lazara has had one of the best days for the Tigers at the plate. Another one, good contender would be Alex Monson, who's 3 for 4 today. Takes that one low inside for ball 1, evens up the count at 1-1. The trusty catcher trying to get Pierce Matthews, who you see on your screen at second, into home. That one is fouled off. Pulled one into the opposite way. Kind of muscled it out there. Ended up getting down. Almost didn't expect it to get down. That's how he hit his single back in the 7th. But a 1-2 count for Lazara. Harden trying to get out of the bottom of the 8th with minimal damage. One taken high for ball 2.
Even in a 1-2 count, things don't get any easier facing Lazara, who very, very easily lays off that pitch.
Ground ball is taken by Castillo. Throw over to first is in time. So end of the bottom of the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th. The Tigers get across a run, but they're still down by 5. See if they can keep the Pirates scoreless in the top of the 9th here on the Tiger Network. We are back on the Tiger Network. Top of the 9th. Time taken. As umpire and Lazara will head to the dugout.
It looked like it was Matthias Riding who was walking step in step with the umpire right there. So a change made defensively, and something about this makes me feel like that is the defensive change the umpire is working about, trying to get sorted out exactly who should be in there at catcher.
Number 9 leading off for Southwestern. Center fielder number 52, Maxwell Mims.
It'll be Maxwell Mims picking up the stick for the Pirates. So new catcher, Matthias Riding. Bring it to a close Nick Lazara's day. The Tigers do make a comeback in the bottom of the 9th. He will not be a part of it. Pitch misses the corner. 2 balls for Maxwell Mims. Seeing a short leash for these Tiger relievers when they go into their next inning of work. That one lined and will be a foul ball, much to the chagrin of the Southwestern faithful here.
Yeah, don't have the proper angle on it, but certainly heard the groans from the crowd here in San Antonio. Imagine that one was pretty close as Maxwell Mims was making his way down the line, threw his head back just a little bit when the call was ultimately made.
So a 2-1 count to the 5-hole bat. 2 for 3 today is Maxwell Mims. He's driven in 2 runs. Puts that one out to right field. But it is foul, so a 2-2 count as things even up. Mackey hasn't allowed a run. Run that is earned to him at least. That one ground ball. Over to Champness. The throw to first in time. Holloway still playing first base. Able to catch the throw from Champness to get the first out of the top of the 9th.
And Champness looking real smooth out there at shortstop. Not the easiest play to make, checking into this game defensively quite late. Has to charge this one. Does a nice job of fielding and making the strong throw with a very, very speedy Maxwell Mims on the base path, but does so effectively right there.
First pitch misses for ball 1 to the bearded bat, Alexander Kanata. Trying to feel the luck of the Irish here on St. Patrick's Day. And that one gets down into left field. So a base hit for Kanata. X marks the spot. And the Pirates will have a runner at first.
Yeah, and Mackey just a little too high in the zone with this offering. Looks like it's a fastball with the lefty. Kind of sweeping delivery coming out of his arm, traveling across the plate. Just runs into the bat of Kanata right there, who was on time and ultimately pays off for him as he finds his first hit of the ball game.
First pitch to Sam Castillo is fouled down the third base line. So a base runner is what Mackey has to deal with, and they are choosing to stick with Mackey here in the top of the 9th. So, whereas other relievers have been pulled as soon as the base runner has gotten on, not the case for Mackey. Ball runs inside, gets away from writing for just a moment, but Kanata not moving. It's a dreary day in San Antonio as the drizzle continues. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Mackey. Castillo down in a 1-2 count.
And Mackey certainly at his best when he has his off-speed and breaking ball working for him as he does right there. And Castillo well out ahead of that one.
Castillo fouls that one off. It's 0 for 1 today. Flew out into foul territory in right field. Pitch misses. 2-2 count for Castillo. Even count pitch on the way. That one sent out into left field. It's going to get down and roll to the wall. Kanata heading over to third. He is streaking to third, and that is all he is going to go to. So 2 runners in scoring position for the Pirates as a double by Castillo puts the next batter, Liam Stonestreet, in a very good position.
Yeah, this isn't very frequently going to be the outcome of an offering like that, but it's just about the worst one that you can afford here. Castillo doing a wonderful job of just going down and connecting with this breaking ball. Has to go all the way out in front in order to put more or less a golf swing on that one, and he hooks it into that left field corner. And tough result for Mackey, who really executed quite well on that delivery. Unfortunately, just a better job with the bat in his hands by Castillo right there.
Meeting at the mound between pitcher and catcher. And I think to buy a little bit of time, maybe for a new arm. As pitching coach Dave Smith heading out there. Puts his hand out for the ball and gets it. So the end of the day for Mackey. He is responsible for the runners on second and third. So the new pitcher will inherit another tough situation. He'll take a break on the Tiger Network as a new pitcher comes into the game.
Pitching for Trinity, number 26, Josh Whitty.
The new arm in the game for the Tigers. It's Josh Whitty. Set to go against Liam Stonestreet. Works with 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch on the way. Strike 1 to Stonestreet. Stonestreet 0 for 4 today. A hit here would likely drive in 2 runs depending on where it goes. At least drive in Kanata. Swing and a miss. And the breaking ball on the inside. So Stonestreet quickly down in an 0-2 count.
The Trinity infield currently playing in, trying to avoid any more damage as they'll look to make a final last-ditch effort in the bottom half of this inning, but they'll need 5 runs to at least force extras.
1-2 count for Stonestreet. Stonestreet has made plenty of nice plays behind home plate, keeping some breaking balls in the turf in front of him. We could do quite a bit of damage with the bat here. That one misses. 2-2 count for Stonestreet. Is Sam Castillo on second. Alexander Kanata at third. Also a sac fly opportunity for Stonestreet. That one is poked foul into the netting above the Pirate dugout.
And a nice delivery from Whitty right there. Breaking ball that catches the outside part of the plate. There's a better job from Stonestreet fighting that one off the opposite direction.
Another foul ball for Stonestreet. the catcher, trying to help out the pitchers on the mound by getting some more runs. Two-two pitch. Matthias Riding tries to frame it, but the home plate umpire not fooled. It is a 3-2 count. Penultimate pitch to Stone Street. Swing and a miss. So an 0 for 5 day for Liam Stone Street. He'll head back to the dugout. That is his third strikeout in a row.
Yeah, and a good at-bat that he put together right there, but ultimately it was going to be Josh Whitty prevailing. He had to come right at the catcher. You mentioned T.S. Riding doing everything he could behind home plate, trying to steal some strikes and framing pitches. Stone Street in there as a catcher himself, laying off of everything, displaying really good plate discipline and just zone awareness. Whitty gets the best of him with the breaking ball and now moves one out closer to finishing the top of the inning.
Fouled back by Ben Foyer. 1 for 3 day for him. But in an 0-2 count, the Pirates have gone through the order nearly 5 times now to get back to Harris. If we do get back to Harris, will be number 6 for the plate appearance count. Just shows how efficient this Pirates offense has been in taking the opportunities that they have been given. That's how they put up 7 runs against the Tigers. 1-2 pitch to Ben Foyer. Ground ball. Third base taking it, and the throw to first brings Holloway off the bag. Kai Tinker came in and took the ball. Cam Champness was also looking to make a play on it. Neither of them could get it, so runner is safe at first. A run comes in to score in the form of Alexander Kanata. And the deficit will grow as it is now 8-2, Southwestern leading.
And can't blame Tinker for cutting this one off himself at third base. It's a difficult play for either of the guys on the left side of second to make in the infield. Champness was coming downhill, but even then he had to break towards that third base line from the start. It would have also been a throw across his body. Ultimately, just a tough bounce and a softly hit ball in the infield for this Trinity defense.
So now Jake Harris trying to keep the ball rolling for the Pirates. As it seems to be smooth sailing from here, one would think. As he lines that one into left field, another run will come in to score. Sam Castillo makes it 9-2 as the top of the ninth will continue. Hear the chant from the Pirates dugout. Christian Melillo. He looks for hit number 1 today. 0 for 4 so far. Runners at first and second. Strike number 1 to Christian Melillo. Tigers are down now 9-2. So a 7-run deficit. Ball misses outside. Jake Harris just continuing his great day. He's 3 for 4 now. Leadoff man for the Pirates. Swing and a miss. 0-2 count for Christian Melillo. Or a 1-2 count as the umpire puts up. And Riding trying to get a strike 3 call there, but nothing doing. 2-2 count, 2 outs on the board. It's the top of the ninth here in San Antonio. Pitch inside. So a full count. Melillo struck out in the first, struck out in the third, flew out in the fourth, grounded out in the sixth, and drew a walk in the eighth. And now we'll draw the walk in the top of the ninth, as the bases are now loaded for James Vaquero.
And multiple opportunities here in the ninth inning for Josh Witte to get out of things. Just ultimately losing the hitter right there. It's been kind of a difficult day to evaluate from a pitching perspective. A lot of guys that have come into the game and relief in middle of innings and thrown very well. And it's just been a cycle that has felt endless at times. They start the next inning, allow maybe a runner or two runners on base, force a new arm out of the bullpen who might get hit but doesn't get charged with those runs. It feels like that's been the case all afternoon long. It's Josh Witte still trying to finish things off right here. We'll get visited by Matthias Reiting with bases loaded, probably a conversation, just trying to stay right on signs, not wanting to afford any luxuries to the runners on the base paths, maybe relaying things in. I think it's been a little bit of a concern this weekend. There have been a lot of meetings on the mound trying to get the signals right between pitcher and catcher.
It's a 1-1 count for James Vaquero. Now a 1-2 count as Witte loops a pitch into the zone.
And again, important to get ahead in this situation with bases loaded. Now in the driver's seat. No reason in a 7-run ball game to not attack the hitter.
Witte trying to get out of the top of the ninth. Ground ball, right back to Witte. There's it to first in time. Return to sender. Ends the top of the ninth. But still more runs coming across for the Pirates, as they've been very efficient in their scoring. It is 9-2 Southwestern advantage. We head to the bottom of the ninth for Christian Holloway, Alex Monson, and Colt Harris, the ones listed right now to be due up. We'll see if there are any changes as we head to the bottom of the ninth.
Batting right, leading off for the Tigers, third baseman number 6, Christian Holloway.
It is Christian Holloway still in this one for the Tigers in the bottom of the ninth. Ground ball over to Jacob Tanner. Throw to first in time. One pitch, one out. It's Christian Holloway is the first victim in the bottom of the ninth. So now Alex Monson, who has been the bright spot for the Tiger Bats today, 3 for 4. Try to make it 4 for 5. Trying to act as the spark plug. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Monson has 2 singles and a double. Strike taken, evens up the count. Andrew Harden looking to finish things out here in San Antonio. Hard hit ball, but foul. Monson crushed a foul ball.
And he continues to just crush everything to the pull side. Unfortunately for him, couldn't quite keep that one fair, and fortunate that he can't control the weather here in San Antonio. The way he's swinging the bat right now would have a good opportunity to leave the yard just a little too damp, and a little too damp for the offense as a whole today.
And dampening the mood is a ground ball to Sam Castillo. Easily gets Monson out at first with the throw over to Kanata. So, potential final out for the Tigers is Colt Harris. The senior is 0 for 4 today. Pitch misses for ball 1. He's flown out and popped out twice. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. It's the only time he's been on base today. Pitch in for a strike as Harden's pitch count nearing 60. Pitch number 60 is a ground ball, could do it. Throw over to first, in time. The Pirates pinch the Tigers, who aren't wearing green on St. Patrick's Day, and come out with a 9-2 win in Game 3 to prevent the sweep. Just a great game overall by Southwestern. They dropped the series 2-1, but they do get a crucial win in conference play.
Yeah, and ultimately just have to tip your cap to Brown and Harden, who comes in out of the pin for Southwestern. Two arms that combined to go the distance in this one and hold in check a very, very strong Trinity offense. Ultimately, it was just timely pitching and Trinity's inability to deliver with timely hitting. You look at that line score and bottom right, the biggest number on the day, 13 runners left on base. 10 hits even for both of these squads. Trinity certainly had some opportunities. Southwestern just did a better job of squandering them here on this Sunday afternoon.
Jake Harris and Maxwell Mims both had 2 RBIs. James Vaquero, Trace Organ, and Ben Foyer all had an RBI apiece. For the Tigers, Maddox McDonald had an RBI along with Corson Hastings. And that is a 9-2 victory for the Pirates. Their green uniforms get them a W in San Antonio. Up next for Trinity, they'll be heading on the road to Austin to play Concordia on a Tuesday midweek game. And then the next day, it's a quick turnaround to play ETBU at home on the 20th. And they'll be on the road for another conference series at Shriner. Meanwhile, for Southwestern, they have a midweek game at home against UMHB. So Southwestern fans go out and support the Pirates, their bout against the Crusaders. And then they're on the road against St. Thomas. For everyone in the control room and Luke Terry, I have been Reed Rosales for the Tiger Network. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday.